Happy Wednesday, everyone. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy midweek. We made it to the midweek mark. So I'm back for another word of encouragement with T Speaks. And today our word of encouragement is establishing your boundaries or building your walls, whichever one you prefer to say. So just a little recap. Monday, we spoke about getting your God-ordained crew. Tuesday, we spoke about the foundation and the importance of building your firm foundation. And then today, we're going to discuss, as I just mentioned, establishing your boundaries or building your walls. Whichever one, like I said, you choose to say. They're both meaning the same thing. When you establish your boundaries, those are the walls that you build. When you get your boundaries, you're making it known that you can't come across this line. You're making it known that you can't climb up this wall. You're making it known that if you try to, there will be risks. You make it known. You're not wrong for setting boundaries. You're not selfish for setting boundaries. You are making it known that these are my boundaries, and if you can't respect them, then you can exit left. You're making it known that these are my boundaries that I have taken up with my Father. These are my boundaries that I need. These boundaries are necessary. Everybody has boundaries, and everybody should stick to their boundaries. If you don't stick to your boundaries, you're letting everyone else know that I'm not respecting my boundaries, so you don't have to respect them either. And what would be the purpose of setting boundaries? What would be the purpose of establishing your walls, building your walls, if you're just going to allow other people to come in and tear them down? They're your walls, they're your boundaries, so nobody else should have access to your walls or to tear down your boundaries. So Proverbs 25 and 28 speaks about the importance of establishing your boundaries. And I want you to take that in, and I would like to see your takeaways in the comment section from that scripture, Proverbs 25 and 28. Also in Nehemiah, when he rebuilt the wall through prayer, he rebuilt it through fasting, and he rebuilt it with a different type of boldness. A crowned confidence is what he built it with. He made sure that he was first a cupbearer. So he was first humble, and he worked within still establishing his boundaries, but he also respected the boundaries of the position that he held as a cupbearer. In turn, that put him in position to be of a higher position. In turn, that put him in position to be of a higher influence. So it's important for not only others to respect your boundaries, but it's very, very important for you alone to respect your boundaries, as well as respecting the boundaries that others set place for you. For instance, I'll use myself. Me as an armor bearer, or me as a minister, it's important for me to respect the boundaries that my pastor puts in place. It's also important as a minister to respect the boundaries of those that come and confidentially speak to me. It's not for me to go back and say, well, this person said this or this person said that. That would not be respecting boundaries, and that would not be working with integrity. And it definitely would not be working with wisdom. That would turn into gossip. And that is not respecting anyone's boundaries. That's not even respecting the boundaries that God laid for us. As we know, we're not supposed to gossip. We're not supposed to tear others down with our words. We're not supposed to have malice. We're not supposed to judge. So if I were to do that, that would flip-flop it, and that would turn into me going against the boundaries that God has set. I say all that to say it is important that when you, number one, like I said, Monday we discussed getting your God-ordained crew. Once you have established who your God-ordained crew is, you can better work together on day 2, which was getting your firm foundation, laying your firm foundation, establishing your firm foundation, however you want to say that. You can better get a grip on doing that as long as you have your God-ordained crew. And even if you don't have your God-ordained crew necessarily, you still have God backing you. You still have him backing you, and you know that he's always with you. And maybe along the way, once you have established your firm foundation, once you have built your walls or established your boundaries, once you have done that, maybe if you don't have your God-ordained crew, once you have done the other things, maybe he will send that. As I mentioned on Monday, these keys are not in any particular order. They are in an order for me and how they worked for me. But all the keys, let's say you go to a house and you have keys for maybe the laundry room, you have keys for the kitchen, and you have keys maybe for the back door, but you don't have that access to the front door yet. So in that case, you would have keys to the laundry room because God is trying to make sure that you know that you need to clean some things out. You have keys to the back door because you need to open that back door, and once you clean the things from out of the laundry room, once you shift, once you maneuver, once you wash those things away, you can then open up that back door and let out what no longer belongs in the back door. You have the keys to the kitchen so that way you can cook up your foundation. You have the keys to the kitchen so that you can throw out the moldy food, so that you can get rid of the trash, get rid of the outdated things. I know to some it may sound like a little jumble and it may sound like I'm everywhere, but to others that grasp onto what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying, that definitely was for you. To those that may not understand what I'm saying, let me break it down just a little bit more for you. So once you get your 5 keys, and on Friday we'll complete that, but once you get all 5 of your keys may not look like how I have gotten my keys in my order. Just like my keys may not look like how my sister gets her keys in the order that she gets her keys. Sometimes you have to establish your foundation by yourself, so that way you can understand, so that way you can know, so that way you can say, well, God, I laid this foundation. I'm trusting in you. Sometimes you're in that season where you have to just be able to trust him alone and not rely on the sister who's to your right or the sister who's to your left. Sometimes you have to build that foundation on your own, just relying on God. Other times you may be able to build your get your God-ordained crew first. Like me, I was able to get my God-ordained crew first, and then we together, they helped me lay my foundation. Them along with others, they helped me lay my foundation. And then today, like I said, we're doing the boundaries. Sometimes it takes someone else to be able to have to come in to say, sis, you need boundaries, or girl, you need to not do this, or this. If you are running yourself ragged, then they're only going for everyone else. If you're running yourself ragged for everyone else, they're only going to continue calling on you until you tell them no, until you work up the confidence to tell them no, until you work up the boldness to be able to say no. And I want to emphasize that no is not a curse word. No is not a curse word. I know so many people think that when they tell somebody no, oh, this person is going to be upset with me, or this person is going to not talk to me anymore. So what? Would you rather run yourself ragged and have these people pleased with you? Or would you rather say no, take the moment of them being upset, and please God? I don't know about you, but I would much rather please God. I can say no in a heartbeat. Let me change that. I used to not be able to say no. I used to say yes to everything. I used to think that because someone came to me, that meant that nobody else could do the job. Until I started running myself ragged, and in me saying no, and me saying I can't do it right now, they had no choice but to go to the next person. That created a different type of bond for them and that person. So sometimes God is calling you to say no, not necessarily out of rest for yourself, but so that way that other person can build the confidence and the boldness in going to someone else. I know for me, it took me a while. I had to let my pride down. It took me a while to say, I need help. It took me a while to say, God, please send me somebody to help me do this. And when he sent me the people, some of the people, it was not who I would have expected him to send. Others, I'm like, oh, okay, you sent them for me. I say all that to say, don't push away your help. When you say no, let your no mean no. When you say yes, of course, let your yes mean yes. But don't give a wavering decision. Don't give a wavering decision. And even if you give a yes to begin with, and you find that you're not able to do that, that's not necessarily you falling back on your word. That's God awakening you to, I didn't tell you to do that. So you have to go back and give that no after you've given that yes. I say all that to say sometimes you have to go back and rebuild your walls. Sometimes your walls can get torn down, and sometimes you have to go back and rebuild your walls. Sometimes someone has crossed over your wall and it's teetered it just a little bit, and it's made it a little bit wavery. So sometimes you have to go back and readjust some things. I hope and pray that this is coming to you all. I hope and pray that this is giving you wisdom. I hope and pray that it is giving you the knowledge, and I definitely hope and pray that it is giving you the courage and the strength to be able to say no, even in times when you have given your yes, and you have to go back and you have to reevaluate and you have to go back and say no after that. I pray that it has given you a different type of boldness, a crowned confidence, I'll say. I hope and pray that it has given you a crowned confidence type of boldness to be able to understand your boundaries. Because understanding your boundaries sometimes means backtracking and doing it all over again. Sometimes it means that. So don't get discouraged if you have to backtrack or backpedal just to move a little head forward. Don't get discouraged. I encourage you today to establish your boundaries and share with me a boundary that you are going to start setting, or maybe a boundary that you have set that you have let waver a little bit. Share with me in the comments a boundary that you will set in place, a boundary that God has maybe told you to set in place, but you kind of lacked on it a little bit. My boundary is my time. My boundary is my time. And I'm starting to understand more so how to put my time where. So when I say I can't do this, I don't necessarily get upset. I don't get discouraged. And I stand on my no. I stand on my no. Even if that means that I have to go back, even if that means I've said yes and I have to go back and say, well, I've reevaluated some things and I'm not going to be able to do this. Even if that means that, I stand on that crown confidence. I stand on that boldness in what God has told me to do. And you never know. He may be building your confidence when he has you to backtrack and say, did I really tell you to do that? Or when he has you to reevaluate. Number one, you're showing him that you trust him. Number two, you're showing him that he can trust you with what he has given you to say or do. And number three, you are not only reestablishing your boundary, but you're also making it known that I'm standing firm on what he has told me to do or not told me to do. So leave all of those things in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to growing with you all. And I definitely look forward to you all gaining access to all 5 keys and gaining understanding through all 5 keys. I love you all, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful midweek. I hope that it goes great. I hope it goes well. And don't forget to establish your boundaries.